This year marks the 50th anniversary of a calypso competition in Barbados. Interestingly enough, that first competition was held right here on the Kensington Oval. A number of Barbadians would have been enthroned here as the Calypso Monarch of Barbados. Hello, I'm Sherwood McCaskey, welcoming you to the Monarch Speaks. In 1960, the competition was won by Michael Wilkinson. His brother, Richard Stout, now regales us with some of the stories of the musical scene at that time and his brother winning the competition.
There was an opportunity to enter a calypso competition, and my brother, who was a balladeer perfectionist, you know, he can sing forevermore, the late Jack here, but both of them late now, and myself, you know, we decided that we would try our hand at it. And needless to say that the money that these guys get now is nothing like what they got in those days. Because when my brother won, he won $100, and he sang a song called "You're Coming Up, Coming Up, Coming Up."
Exactly what was this about?
It was about you coming up, and you know, you're playing bacchanal, you're playing carnival, you know, you jump in, you kick in, you jump in Maybell, you know, we play bacchanal. So the whole idea was he wanted to create an atmosphere of a woman making merriment in the street, you know, jumping and waving the flag, and she coming up, and the fellas coming up to her and things like that.
Little Baron won the competition in 1961. In 1962, it was won by the Mighty Producer. Sir Don won in 1963, 1965, and 1975. The Mighty Charmer won in 1964. There was no competition in 1966 nor 1967. Well, in 1968, the competition moved to the YMCA. The Mighty Gabby sang Heart Transplant, and he won the competition.
The fun of the night was that Romeo was always a hard dresser. The rest of we gone up there in this shirt and pants thing and thing. Young fellas. So Romeo had about 3 or 4 suits. So Romeo put them on and said, "Gabbard's heart, man. Let me see. How this one look?" I said, "It looked good." And this one, I said, "All of them look good." "All right, Gabbard, what are you going to do? Man, I feel sorry that you ain't got get your suit do right, so what you going to do again? Lend you one of these here, but let me try them again." He tried them again. Because Romeo real practical, meticulous. Finally, they said, "All right, you could use yellow and thing when they're Barbados is independent. Just 2 years, you know. Yellow and blue thing, Romeo then. Competition tight. End of the night, I won by about 3 or 4 points at the most. Romeo gets so fast. Romeo, "My suit is what beat me. If you did come ordinary, them extra points you get." Romeo is beating me about 3 weeks. Come by my house today. "Yo, sorry, man, but you know, as a little vet squad, I'm really looking forward to being in the thing, man. But congratulations, man. And come, we live like brothers." And that is my most vivid memory. After watching he operate on she, I wanted to operate too. So I follow them down by the cemetery. So I leave them down by the cemetery. I went home for me own doo-doo. She gets so frightened at first, she started to reverse, cause she thought I was going mad. But it's then I wake up from sleeping to find it was only a dream I had, and a dream how I cut she here and cut she there. I cut the woman most every way. She started to scream, I was so mean. I cut off. She started to bawl. I didn't care at all. Boy, I cut she big and I cut she small. And although I did everything wrong, she said, "Continue this operation."
Well, we move on now to the year 1969. Mighty Gabby defended his crown, and once again he is crowned Calypso King of Barbados.
Sir Don is the threat, because Sir Don, and he had one in 65, 63, something so. But anyhow, Don was like, they're powerful. Until today, I don't know about who write better lyrics than Don. No, it's not about this. Powerful and intimidating. He allowed you to know that he was the king. that whatever you doing was just a joke thing. I come in to just take my rightful position, you know. He wasn't arrogant or say, he was just confident. Right? Boy, he had me a little nervous because he would intimidate you to that degree. And I remember the night, man, I went there, I think, kind of, it was Earl Miller that came across that night too. He just won Mr. World and this and that. And John even backstage said, Gabby, why are you here? You're going to get beat real bad, don't you know? So when I sang, boy, and it was all over. John come and hug me up, congratulate me, said, Gabby, you have improved so much between the last 1965 and now. It's amazing. I mean, there is no way, unless you won't stop, there's no way that you wouldn't become really good at it. And Barbados was just about popularizing family planning, I would say. And Mr. Gollop and I became very good friends, Patrick Gollop's father. And I said, would it be good to sing on that topic, family planning? I don't want to sing it serious, or I should this and that. I want to make it fun. So I started this song, like, the chorus was like, John, did you bring your family planning with you? And we said, pa-ba-da-da-da-da-da. And if he only said no, she said, oh, well, that wouldn't do. Ba-da, ba-da. If you ain't bring your family planning, you better change your mind. Cause you ain't giving me no 100 children to run and leave me behind. Now that they said 10,000. 10,000.
How was it received?
Very well. The crowd liked it because I had all this family planning outfit, like a nurse and thing. The first time I had on like a doctor outfit and thing with like this surgical knife and thing like that. Night was like a family planning nurse thing, and it was like it went down really well, really well. We were at the Globe Cinema.
There was no competition between the years 1970 to 1972. Year 1973 saw the return of the competition. The Mighty Romeo is crowned.
In 73, I did Land So There. That was a fantastic song. At the YMPC, it was a format where I spelled out Barbados and had a line to suit every letter of Barbados, and it went down well.
What was it like at the YMPC on that night of the competition? Approximately how many people were there? The build up to it, the anticipation?
Well, when we sing, back then in those days, and you had a crowd of, say, about 500 people, that was a fantastic crowd. And the energies that used to come from them is because they were right onto the stage. Whereas we have the National Stadium now in Kensington Oval, whereas you're away from the crowd, no, was always electrifying to see you have those people pulling you singing and people pulling your legs and things. You know, it was most exciting. So I would say I love that kind of atmosphere, and it really motivates you. That immediate contact, you know, you feed off your fans. A little rock was found in the Caribbean Sea some centuries ago. They named it Los Barbados. It's here I was born, and God knows I love it so. To me, it is a land so dear, with any other one it can compare. Oh yes, I can say aloud that I'm a Barbadian born and a proud. Now here I be, it's a land so beautiful, and so adorable. For riches we don't care less. Because Barbadian blessed, are still singing our ancestors paved the way. With such dignity, oh, opportunities are now yours and mine, as in this land of sunshine.
The competition moved to the Caribbean Pepper Pot in 1970 and was won by the Mighty Dragon singing Muhammad Ali. Now to the Marine House. The year is 1975. Come together and crop over Bacchanal saw the mighty destroyer winning the crown back then.
1970 and so is that Black Power era. And you know, a lot of folks, everybody hooked on this Black Power thing, we raise fists and all of that. But I also found that some people were just saying it. You know, it was like just a fad. You know, oh, come together and, you know, black is beautiful. But I find that the unity was still lacking. So that is why I was like trying to tell people about, let's unite. You know, that's the only way we can do it. You know, just saying it by words, just using words, it's not going to do it. So we got to unite as one and get it together. All over the world today, you find people complaining. Everybody's saying that they can't understand what is happening. The old blaming the young for the bad things, young blaming the old. But if we get together and understand one another, we won't have to blame our soul, because I say unity is strength, my friend. Strength is what we need. And being united, people, we bound to succeed. So don't care what your neighbor say. Try and understand him in every way. And let me come together as one and help solve the problems of this nation. You hear? Come together as one and help solve the problems of this nation. Hear me? And that's the first verse and chorus.
How did the crowd respond?
Very well. It was a very small crowd, I must say. Lack of advertisement and whatever. It was, I believe that we probably had, it was just about, maybe about 40, well, according to an article in the paper just about a week or so, Gabby's Gab, and Gabby's covered from the Union, he used to write an article called Gabby's Gab in the Advocate. And I remember, I had that newspaper clip and I lost it somewhere along the way. But I remember him estimating the crowd about 40 persons in the audience. Crop over Bacchanal, well, okay, we were talking about crop over, so I just came up with this idea about, to write a song about, somebody working in the crop. And that was it. It's this elderly guy that was working in the crop, and he said, well, he hear about this crop over thing, and he come out, the crop done, so he come out to have some fun. In other words, having a good time and encouraging people to do the same. A 65-year-old man come and tell me, only the other day, I could not believe me ears when I hear what the old man had was to say. He said, boy, I work in the crop, and I do not intend to stop. But now that the work is done, I think it's time for me to have fun. Me go have it fun. When you're dead, you're done. We going to turn this place upside down. I come out to play. That is what he say. I don't care if I have to pay. I'm not gonna jump up and break away. Something like that.
There were two competitions in 1976. The first one was won by Groiner. The second one, under the auspices of Calypso Enterprise, was won by the mighty Gabby. There was no competition in 1977, so on to 1978.
Okay, it was the first time then that it was going to the stadium. But it was not just at that time now, it wasn't just a calypso competition, it was calypso competition, or I should say Queen Show, because that was the headline, and calypso competition. And yes, I won that competition also. Yes, we had Liars and Viper and those guys around again.
There are two songs, I'm Am Bitter. We start with the I'm Am Bitter first.
I'm Am Bitter and Dread, okay, the Rasta thing has just flowing to the Caribbean, started to flow to the Caribbean. And, you know, the Rastas was I this and this body changing the name to I this and I that. So I came up with this song with this Rasta guy that his name was Tony, but now he's Rasta now, or he wearing locks and things now and dressing like an old man and thing, walking with a stick. At that time everybody used to walk with Rasta, used to got a little walk and walking with a stick and so on. So I just decided to write this song called I'm Am Bitter and Dread. And I'm Am Bitter, there was a song in Jamaica called I'm Am Bitter, I'm Am, something about the Babylon, something so. But then I wrote my song Calypso, and then I dealt with the same I'm Am Bitter, which is what a lot of the slang I time to, that I'm Am this and I'm Am that. So I came up with that. A friend of mine meet me and tell me, Destroyer, I don't know what's wrong with Tony. Tony's a boy, he learned well in school, but all of a sudden like he turning fool. When I call him Tony, he say that's not my name. So daddy, don't call like that thing again. My name is I-Tone, and don't forget that. But if you see how this I-Tone dropping off fat and what he's singing, I'm on bitter and I'm on dread, like he going mad. He's shouting, I'm on bitter and dread, and he talking like if he from Trinidad, only ballin', I'm on bitter and I'm on dread. I can't understand where he get this I'm on bitter and dread, and I was walking with a stick like some damn old man. That's a good day. I wrote this song called Message to the People, but I wasn't only speaking to the children, I was also speaking to the adults. So it says, well, I find we have some young people, Lord, they do not have no respect. And like they do not understand, it is something that you have to show to get. They would walk about here and there, and in your face you would see them stare. Look, some of them can't open their mouth unless some filthy language come out. And if you criticize what they do, man, they would even want to beat you. But this sort of thing here have got to stop, because we all know it's not good enough. Look, you got to learn to say good morning. We got to learn to say good evening. We got to try a little bit of how do you do, and anybody give you anything, say thank you. Because I grew up learning that, so that was just trying to tell the people that's the way to be.
Well, it is 1979, the International Year of the Child. Mighty Lies crowned the Calypso King of Barbados with his two songs, She Want Pan.
Somebody help me, you let this woman kill me. She said how she come down for Canada. She hear all about the jumping, all about the bumping, and she so excited, man, like she going mad. She want pan, she want pan, she want pan. She want the sweet, sweet rhythm of the steel band. She want the ping pong pong, tim tim tam tam. She want the ping pong tim tam of the steel band.
And nobody likes me.
Well, I decide how I dance in Calypso, because of the way they treat me at the last show. A lot of people bet money on me to be king of this country, and I made them people lost every damn penny. But I decide to go and myself from a tree. I decide to go and drown myself in the sea. Pour a gun and shoot somebody, go and jump over Kelman Gully, because nobody at all don't like.
The year is 1980. Black Pawn, a youngster from the northern parish of St. Peter, appears on the scene, and he takes the crown with his winning sounds, The Right to Criticize and Politician.
Politicians, that was about a political song. Let me put it like that, a political song, right? And in those days, political songs were the thing of the day. There was Gabby used to do his thing, Boots, One Day Coming Soon, and that kind of stuff. So some people said that we were for of one particular party and people like Serenade and others were for another political party. So basically, but we had to bring the message to the people feeling the pinch, the people are not happy about certain things, events that happen in the country. We represent them and we go out there and we sing about them. So.
Wait until 1981, waiting for all them politicians. Wait until 1981, that is the year of the election. A possible pistol hide in the house. When they come sneaking round like a mouse, tell me where you been since 76. They coming back in with them dirty tricks. So need a bit high, they carry this thing too far. The road mashing up me motor car. Wishing all your time on television, wishing all the taxes.
The right to criticize, though, more was like, I think we had around that time Dr. Walter Rodney, I think he would have probably died. And it spoke, though, to things like people being able to express themselves freely, and they should be able to do that without fear of any kind of recrimination or that kind of stuff. So that was the point I wanted to bring in that particular song, and I think the motivation could have been things that were happening in Iran, Iraq, globally, and then more regionally, Guyana, the places around here. I write my songs because in a way I believe I'm a poet, and the thing is, I believe life is a journey, and I believe you have to have a reason to be here. And I think to come here and to leave without leaving some mark would have been a travesty for me. I feel very proud to have been able to come and sing Calypso and to win a crown and to make Black Pawn somebody that people would remember.
Moving on now to the year 1981. Once again, it is the time for Romeo. He signed Brother Fuzzy, bringing a band, and Jem Gone.
Jem Gone I was inspired because of to write Jem Gone because of the fall down in society. It isn't only yesterday that you find the youth doing madness and all kind of crazy things. I am going to be bold enough to say this. My little Oxford Dictionary told me the definition for being independent is to be able to stand solely on your own. Without you have your resources and you use those resources. So how can Barbados, without any resources, be independent, truly independent? You know, and I think that our morals started to fall when we took down that Union Jack in 1966, and we said that we're independent. Nice way of thinking, nice achievement, but then we went Americanized. We went from the English part of it to America. So we were not up to this day. We were not. You don't be independent and borrowing this and borrowing that and borrowing that. You can't be independent without resources. And the song Jem Gone came from when I started seeing some inconsistencies in the society, and I said, no, we're going on the wrong road. Disrespect from the youth, children disrespecting the parents. You're doing a lot of ugly things. The escalation in crime, drugs start to filter into our shores. A whole series of things that we were not accustomed to start happening around Barbados. And I said, no, I based my song Jem Gone from comparing what is happening towards how it used to be. And today that song still has its weight in the society, present society.
So I must ask the question, are we still gem of the Caribbean? Tell me. Do that. La la, amen. Ba, 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 da, da. Yet, my friends, it is not too late. The time is now. Let's not hesitate. First, we must remember we are one to restore the good name of this island. Our ancestors, this I must say, Lord, look, they struggled and paved the way. Despite obstacles like poverty, they achieved dignity.
John Public is of the opinion that unless you sing a stiff social song about what the government doing and what the government ain't doing, that is not competition material. But you can get some nice subtle humor into a song and still be competitive, you know, and Brother Fuzzy was that type of song. As a matter of fact, the night at 81 finals, Brother Fuzzy got more marks than Jem Gone. And that was a song that I made in a half hour. A drive from Printer Man in Jackson to my home in the Pine. And that song got more points than Jem Gone.
Brother Fuzzy bringing a band to compete in the coming celebration. Fuzzy and the shepherd get away, so he planned to play Masker Dumende. I was so surprised when they tell me he practicing hard and song in real sweetly. Lord, they say how Fuzzy created such a beat. They feel it's heating, we go rule the street. Alright, hey, whoopity, 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 la la la, and praise Jah for crop over. Look, you tell them, sisterin, brethren, let we get around and sing and praise Jah for crop over.
Well, 1982 is often regarded as the year in which calypso music and competition in Barbados were taken to a new dimension. An 18-year-old from the eastern parish of St. Philip red plastic bag appeared on the scene. He came, he performed, and he conquered.
Mr. Hardin, I must give special credit to Mr. Tony Warren, who came to me with this idea and this whole thing about hard times, and together we were able to come up with a product that the people loved. I mean, it really is all about hard times, not being able to get rid of hard times. Hard times being always there, and it is clear that hard times is something that don't care how much you burn, Mr. Hardin, which is supposed to be a symbol of getting rid of the hard times. Hard times are always around.
You may notice that the stop trying to burn Hardin, cause every time the man coming back again, people from the north, south, east and west, to burn Mr. Hardin, they try their best. The man they said to said we can't put him away. He's a well-known man in this place today. We can jump and shout when we done Mr. Hardin still walking out. We can't get the man killed, even though the fire large, cause Hardin is alive still. He is a fuel charge. We tried to assassinate, throw poison in his mouth, but Hardin is water red. He is a power blackout. Now you understand why Mr. Hardin can die. It is time that we turn it can't burn.
Sugar Ministry, written by myself. Sugar Ministry simply says that, you know, sugar is because of the sugar that we were able to free ourselves from the bondage of colonialism. People may argue that it enslaved us. It did, yes, but it also gave us an opportunity to free ourselves, because it was through the same sugar cane that we were able to make something out of the industry and become independent.
Man, woman and child, let us reason here for a while. Let us look at our sugar crop. We like, we don't care if it live or not. If we neglect the sugar cane, this economy will feel lots of pain. Whoa, whoa. Now, and consider consequences that we may suffer later. Try now, make it better, cause sugar is part of our culture. In our history, it's
It took me a while to really come to terms with that whole year. For me, a youngster coming into the competition for the first time, getting involved, I was very nervous coming up against the people like the Mighty Gabby and Romeo and the Destroyers and all these people who I would have admired. And I've been big fans of these people for some time, and suddenly I am part of a competition that involves these people. And I was extremely nervous about it, but having won the competition, I remained in shock for a while. I pinched myself a few times trying to establish, did this thing really happen? Is it a dream? You know, but I think for me, it changed my whole life.
The competition of 1982 somewhat set the stage for the competition of 1983, but unfortunately it rained out. Well, on to 1984. Red Plastic Bag again won the crown with Count the Cost and Ben.
Count the Cost, even now, the song is still relevant. I believe that, you know, you need to dwell, you know, you need to separate your wants from your needs. You need to understand that that these are days when you need to make sure you spend correctly and choose wisely the things that you want to get, and you can't have Morby pockets and have champagne taste. I mean, it's okay to have your champagne taste, but just remember you have Morby pockets. And I believe that once you are cognizant of what your pockets are looking like, I think that you should spend accordingly.
I ain't going nowhere. It's here I intend to stay. And if it rise or fall, I ain't leaving this land at all. Music!
Then for me, it's a love song for my country. I love my country dearly, and regardless of what ills we may encounter or what we may go through, I'm prepared. If it sinks, I will sink with it. If it floats, I will float with it, because I truly love my country.
Bim, I love you. Bim, I am proud of you. Many left your shores to live in big cities, but that's not the case with me. No, no. Some call you bad and cry you down. Certainly not me. Of the side I am a Teuton. I know my children may not reach prestigious high school, but for the big boys zone to go, it has become a rule. And when they grow up, they may hardly find a job, and in broad daylight they may be raped or robbed. And if we can find someone after searching few days, well, no problem at all, we can find them dead in a cell. I know that them foreigners really taking over slowly. They start with one street in the city, but even if them Yankees bring in cadavers to frighten me, they can't move me. I ain't leaving this country. I ain't going nowhere. It's here I intend to stay. And if it rise or fall, I ain't leaving this land at all.
We're on now to the year 1985. I'm sure you would recall a West Indian politician and culture by the Mighty Gabby. In the end, he was enthroned as the Calypso King of Barbados.
At that time, Adam Niger was very popular with a song called Woman and another one called Robot. I mean, 90% of the people who left home that night felt that Adam Niger was definitely going to win this crown. But I decided, you know what? I am not going to sing West Indian Politician in its entirety at the semifinals because I want to find something that would carry it to crescendo, take it to higher heights. And in culture, I'm going to give them a visual impact as well as a vocal lesson. So I'm thinking, how can I take this to the height where I can kerfuffle, bamboozle, mesmerize, and at the same time enthrall, and at the same time dominate, and at the same time give them a performance that is embedded in their minds forever. That's all I'm thinking all the time. But you have to camouflage it in the rehearsal. So you rehearse lackadaisical, you don't say no words, you sound like you're unable, you're this and that. But it's all strategy. I'm thinking how I could get this song, because I know where I'm aiming. I know I got to be 2 boss songs. 2 songs that were playing on the air non-stop. You're talking about 2 songs that people talking about in the paper every day, people commenting every day. Got to win. I wrote West Indian Politician now as an attempt to write a classical piece of music, not a calypso. But how can you put calypso idiom inside a classic? Because the melody is not really calypso, you know. But I gotta take it. How are you gonna take this? So I go, West Indian politician, boom, 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 and the narrow is bum, bum, ba, da, da, ba, da, ba, da.
For me will always have to be on the P's and Q's to answer my pen when it's awesome strength. This stretch, yes, stretch to any end to defend their rights. The masses won from emancipation until the present. Time is essential in everything. West Indian politician, take heed while I sing, cause you tell Trini he better than Bajan. You tell Beji that he's smarter than Jamaican. You tell Jamaican he live on the best island. Then turn around and tell them you're preaching island integration. But West Indian politician, I check out your evil ploy. And the more hear you, the more you sound like Westminster choir boy. West Indian politician, I check out your history. And because you're trained in England, Westminster choking we.
So when I signed culture, and I said, all of these shows on TV, you must agree, are not for we. Show me some Castle in My Skin by George Lamin for my viewing. Or fill in the spot with Derek Walcott. Instead of that trash like Sanford and Mash. Then we could stare in their face and show them the cultural base. And then I start lining up the things that is cultural base. Natural, normal things. Leaving the child at granny, going court for the child money. Mismatch in the latest fashion. Love making with a passion. That Bajan, Caribbean, West Indian, African. So that tend to like cement the people. Say this is what the people wanted to say themselves ever since. But I come and say it for them.
1986 was an election year in Barbados. John King appeared on the scene, and his 2 songs, Tribute to the Skipper and Congratulations, saw him walking away with the title Calypso Monarch of Barbados.
A bit of a controversial year. I
I was fortunate enough to win in that particular competition, but there was also the boycott that happened that year over some matters that were being dealt with pertaining to contracts and things. But I think that's one of the things that would have plagued me, because some people use that opportunity to say, well, look, you know, you say you was boycotting and then you drop out so that other people was out of the competition so you could go in and win.
Tribute to the skipper.
Again, another song written by Anthony Waldron. He showed it to me very early. And I said, of course. I mean, I always like to proofread these things first, because I have to make sure that whatever is written reflects something that I believe. Because I can't sing things that are written for me with another person's ideology, another person's belief. So I went through it, and all I had was words. I went away, created my own melody, and did that. And I've done that with most of the songs that we've written together. And I thought it really, to me, painted a picture of exactly how I felt about the whole thing and how I think most Barbadians felt about it at that particular point in time. And I think the thing that drove me more so with that was the fact that we have a tendency to pay tribute to persons after they've died. And I thought, well, here was a perfect example and a perfect opportunity of how it really should be done.
Barbados say, but trip after trip, exploitation still prevail. 37 riots prepared to prove that slavery done. And then they came a skipper back there in 61 who freely taught his crew. And fed the little ones to intend to break every chain. He set out to sea again. All hands on deck. Hear the skipper he left. Show the skipper respect. He took over when the bridge was down. He took over Bridgetown on a school for him. He took over the bridge, took over the bridge. Skipper took over the bridge, took over the bridge.
Congratulations. It was a really tongue-in-cheek. Basically what we were saying is that, you know, when people do really good things, you have to congratulate them. So I was using this opportunity to congratulate persons like in the Ministry of Transport and Work for all of the wonderful potholes and things that we have in the roads, the fantastic work that they were doing at that particular point in time. You know, congratulating some ministers for stellar things that they were doing that showed no results. And that's so it was really being very sarcastic.
Nice. And it worked well.
And it worked well.
Well, they're blaming me for blaming. All of the critics claiming that any calypso I make is just blaming for blaming's sake. They criticize me for criticizing, saying that I am not realizing that it is a good style too, giving credit where it is due. Well, they can't criticize this song as criticizing social wrongs. Though success small and failure great, I'll be the first to congratulate to those who fix the road, the work never done.
Congratulations.
The busing board for how good they just run.
Congratulations.
All busing you stand, no repairman for the minibus row and piece of contract for now. Congratulations, congratulations to the millions the transport levy raised for knocking down homes to build highways for administration I play. Hip, 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 hooray!
Well, it was Bumba's turn in 1987. They want to know and love your own.
They want to know why the young people going astray. They want to know why they no longer seem to care. They want to know why they're disregarding the law, and why the morals and values not like before. They're talking about the life the youth live in. The materialism they worshiping. The adults pretend they can't see the problem. But I know if they would listen, hear what the children asking. They want to know where the media in this land expect the young people to go when they're making back young a hero.
Woman, get up, put yourself together. There's so much more for we to do.
Rita. She was the lone female in the competition in 1988. She encouraged her fellow women to respect themselves.
Like puppets and sex tools. Without a sense of purpose, there's no hope for things better. We must rally as one and dictate our own future. Because your love here ain't no excuse for slavery. Woman, respect yourself. Woman, respect yourself.
And she told Barbadians that she couldn't party.
I can't party until the easy strain of all are we. I can't party when y'all got me on fire with 1,000 raging Yankees. When people suffering in this country, I can't party when people suffering in this country, I can't party.
Well, it's on now to the year 1989. The competition is won by Red Plastic Bag with his songs Pluck It and The Country Ain't Well.
A very special year for me, exciting year. That was a time when we were actually going through some rough times in terms of the economics of the country, and things were fairly rough with the economy at that time. And I composed a song that equated the body with the ills of the country.
The country sick, the country in well. See it as a person and then you will tell. Look at the whole body, check it carefully, examine it thoroughly, and I am sure you'll agree with me. The brain center of control must be parliament, you see. The two major parts now split in three, struck by skullduggery. The eyes looking all around customs, coast guard, immigration. Some go past and laugh, ha ha. The country has got a rap. The vocal cause of the media, electronic and printed, but the nonsense I hear and read, I know they are infected. The stomach is the food store, and food is damn expensive, you know. So the stomach, you can bet, has to be the supermarket. The heart, highly ranked, has to be our central bank, pumping blood all over the body. So now you know blood is money. The heart palpitating, pulse rate increasing, headaches getting greater. With these symptoms, I'll go no further. The country has high blood pressure. Clearly, you can see this country ailing badly. Now you can tell the country in well.
Well, the year is 1990. It was a little bit of jogging and some tug of war here and there that saw Serenada winning the crown.
Jogging was like, at that time of the year, we were getting a lot of complaints about places or that is being run down. You know, windows dropping off here and windows dropping off there. And I said to myself, that is a eyesore. You know, and at that time Ben Johnson was very popular, you know. So I had to use like main politicians went jogging, you know, ran like Ben Johnson and stuff, running, and that tune was touching the nerves, touching the nerves. They had tried to stop it, but then they decided we can't stop this tune.
Me as a politician went jogging. Suddenly, like Ben Johnson, all them started running. Well, the pace was too hot for me, so I slowed down. In a short space of time, all them ran down Bridgetown. Where the road that they took me, they just so damn confused. The only trail when you look was stocks out their shoes. Richie saw the tax and he changed his direction. 3 others followed, causing chaos and confusion. From the transport board to Beltender Street, ahead.
Don't run down there.
Teachers outside St. George Secondary say
There a run down there.
frustrated tenants by NAC tell me
I run down there.
10 cooks with a pot by the casualties say
Bramford run down there.
would you call her jogging?
None of them running down.
Which one of them running?
All of them running down.
When I won the crown, someone had to come and tell me you won. I was asleep. Right, but the feeling was great. Because what usually happens is when I'm in competition, I usually rest. I don't like to see who's performing before me. I don't try to see, I don't want to know what you're doing. So I usually leave the message when, if I'm about number 7, that's when you get the 5 or 4 call me, wake me up. So I could remember that night with jogging, I got up and I stood up on one spot like if you were running to warm up the blood, you know, and then everything happened. Bam! Band suite, Serenade Singing Suite, and I could remember listening to the, I think Stalin was there or somebody was there. I can remember listening to Stalin saying, that man ain't got to sing again. Well, the tug of war was actually a Caribbean song with what was happening in the Caribbean with the IMF holding on to whoever they could hold on to and controlling them, you know. And I based it out of that, what was happening. But I could say that at that time, for me, I felt stronger and a better calypsonian than I was in the past.
Unity. You talk about unity. You're looking for peace. And you want to be free. But you're still asleep. Wide awake in a dream. While facing defeat, you're destroying the Caribbean. I like to walk on top of for everything I do like it.
We move on now to the year 1991. It is the presentations of Kid Sight, No More Lies and Mistaken Identity that saw him winning the crown that year.
It's your mistaken identity.
What do you think of time? Take Time was a song that, what was the catalyst for that? It was a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. We were both Trinidadians. We both sang in the choir. We both ended up in Barbados, let us say living, and he died. He died at 42. And I was in Venezuela at the time. I was at the hotel, and I sat pondering on life, you know, the uncertainty of life. And I started to think about time, you know, what do you think of time? Where does it go? Would you be here this time tomorrow? You just know. Not that you want to know. Not that you want to know that next week at 10 o'clock, such and such you will go, but it is so transient, it's so fleeting, and one has to probe, and one has to get a little more profound, and one has to dig a little deeper as to the true issues, why are we here, where are we heading? And unless you deal with those issues that invade the psyche, no pun intended, I still think, if you don't, I think you're missing half your life.
What do you think of time? Yes, what do you mean here? This time tomorrow, we just know when the time begins. Going I am sure it's just that walk at times you are my friend.
The other one I did, I think, at that time was raise your hand. How you feel? How you feel? Which the title was raise your hand. But it was, I had always avoided doing political commentaries because Barbados is that type of society, always conscious of the fact, you are not one of these, so you don't take the liberty to sing Mr. T like Griner. But this was one where the entire population, everybody was incensed. There was a certain a level of dissatisfaction that I had never seen. And I wanted to make this comment without putting my foot in my mouth and without probably interfering with certain sensibilities. And I said, if you feel, if you feel so, put up your hand. If you feel that he lick up the treasury, if you feel, I'm not saying, but if you feel, so if you think Owenada is the answer, put up your hand. If you feel that he have a house in Miami, so I never said that he had a house in Miami. I never said that he lick up the treasury, but if you feel. And it caught on because I think I tapped into the collective dissatisfaction that was there at the time. And I was quite surprised at the response, let us say, at the stadium. There's some people saying, Nevada, you're going to win this year. You're going to win. I said, well, I competed because, you compete. It was always to me a vehicle to building another profile. But the song did well, it won, and it's still around.
If you feel like fighting the country, if you feel you have a house in Miami, if you feel a great friend in the sun, what you feel you have a grocery disaster, let me see you. If you got me the PA, I want to see you. If you think you so problem, what you feel like country need, I will try for me and you heal.
Calypso is a lot of entertainment, but I never quite saw it as the entertainment dimension as much as it was a basis for giving a message. There are things to be said. You have to inform. You have to help people, make them more conscious. And that sort of guided and influenced what the writings were.
Well, 3 years after being enthroned as king, Serenade was back in the limelight again. Well, evidently he did not steal the crown, neither did he break down. Instead, he performed like a king.
Still in there, that song came when I was, if you could remember walking through Parliament Yard, and Parliament was under repair, and they had some steel in there for about 8 months down on the ground. And I can remember going through the yard from where the shop is, not from Nelson's side, the other side. And they said, "Too much steel in here." And I said to myself, "Steel in here, steel in there." So there's a song.
I want to jump in the construction. I want to work with steel and iron. In Barbados, stealing everything. It's dangerous, but it's happening. Buildings start suddenly, they stop. Some fall apart, some don't have no top. You don't have to work hard for your money. Working with steel just bring you plenty. Look at the stop by Sherburn and check the construction in there. You're gonna see steel in there. Too much steel in there. I wonder why down Port Town police station took so long. Because steel in there. Too much steel in there. I my country down, 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 down.
To me, I would class that song side of any calypso that was written in Barbados. I would class it side of any calypso that is written. I'm very happy to know that I've written a song like that.
One step forward, step backward, and tremble. Oh, Nelly, you tremble. One step forward, step backward, and tremble. Oh, Nelly, you tremble.
The breakdown was like, I heard I heard somebody say like 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards, which meant that it wasn't going anywhere. And I could remember mentioning breakdown to someone, you know, and they said it's a good concept, and I tried my effort best, and I rig it up. And when they first started the same breakdown in the tents, it was going down real good. What I did, they said, let's create a dance to this. And we created the dance, and it became one of the most popular songs as far as a dance going to this song, you know.
This is dancing the donkey, daylight, I say daylight. This is doing a dance, they go crazy. Oh my, I can't tell you why. Can't whine, but getting grind. Can't wail, legs in your tail. It's not a serious, you got to obey. Trotty couldn't stand the music, so he break away. One step forward, step backward, tremble, tremble. One step forward, step backward, tremble, tremble. It's not the butterfly, it's not the twist, it's not the vocal, but it goes like this. Break down. One step forward, step backward, tremble, tremble. One step forward and 2 step backward, and tremble, tremble. You break down.
In the early 1990s, we were beginning to hear a lot of calypsos encouraging us to jump and wave, jump and wave. Well, John King appeared again in 1994 and won the crown with his winning sounds, I Am Back and Jump and Wave.
I came back home after having a year working on a cruise ship, and I really was not going to be here. I had made some plans to relocate somewhere else. But after I got into the tent, I really was enjoying myself. For me, it was all about, okay, have you psychologically repaired, so to speak, from what happened in the past? Or do you still have this residue? How do you test it to see where you are as a, you know, mentally? So the best way to measure it is to go back into the environment that kind of like almost destroyed you. Anthony Waldron, a boss approach to the whole idea of me coming back into calypso and dealing with a lot of the issues that were there, and it was just an appropriate song for my return.
Oh, come back, John. This is the cry of calypso. Come back, John. I'm suffering, don't you know? While you cruise, I've been abused. Now in lyrical distress, please respond to my SOS. Look, must I depend on something to wave to get in my people's heart? No, I have to be saved from becoming a dying heart. Hey, yes man, I'm back with a brand new repertoire. I say me well never dry up like them reservoir. I'm back. My fans I am set to please, but I ain't bearing all like foreign male striptease. I'm back just to get this idea spread. There's no donkey or no thoroughbred. I say the honor is just in the race for the Calypso crown. Yes!
A friend of mine sent me a cassette tape of a lot of music that was coming out of Trinidad for the year that I was on there. Man, I tell you, every other party song, jump and wave, jump and wave, jump. I said, well, what is this? You know, I'm accustomed to, you know, hearing fellas using all sorts of different things, you know, for party songs and stuff. So I thought to myself, okay, how do we do a tongue-in-cheek approach to this whole jump and wave thing? Because it seems like this is all people are about. So I wrote that particular song. And what I did, I tried to use as familiar melody lines and other things as humanly possible to hit home the point that all you're doing is regurgitating stuff. You're copying, and everybody's doing the same thing. And there's no creativity in that. There's no, as they say, spice of life. There's no variety. It's just the same old. You're beginning to just find a formula and create music.
It's so about hearing, all the hell hearing is what? It gets so ridiculous, a song and the same chorus sing. Since Super Blue plays the trail, all man hot, banding tail, sleeping down make a hit, without jump and waving it sing. So I do. Play the game, and they jump and wave, without shame. So let me go.
Edwin Yeawood took Calypso competition in Barbados to newer heights in 1995. However, it was his presentation of Obadeli and Voice in My Head that saw him being crowned Calypso Monarch of Barbados.
What inspired Obadeli mostly was the fact that that particular year, it seemed to be some kind of just this thing flowing and going against the youth. It was everybody complaining about the youth not doing anything good, not doing anything right, just a lot of violence going on and stuff like that. And as life would have it, I was walking in Bridgetown and I looked at a newspaper, and in front of the newspaper had someone was dead with a knife in his back, very, very graphic, on in front of the newspaper. And when I bought the newspaper and I started to read it, there was this small little thing talking about the accomplishments, the achievements of Obadeli Thompson. That he had won a race in a very high level meet, and he was now a champion. And this was a young man, and I just said to myself, well, here is a young man representing Barbados, representing at the highest level, and this is what is chosen to put in the front of the paper, and this is just a by the way thing. So I thought that was important to show people, that the young people of Barbados at that time were still doing things, and that the bad shouldn't outweigh the good.
Frustration in the nation, they focusing on the youth. So push it in, push it over, push it. The young people in trouble, some barely getting through. So push it over, push it, push it, push it over, push it. Jump around if you're glad for, wave your hand like you're mad for. Cause the same way we make up, we go jump for joy. Are you ready? Are you ready? Jump when I shout over, jump when I shout over. Are you ready? Are you ready? Jump when I shout over. Jump.
Voice in My Head basically was a song that came from within your own personal struggles and watching the personal struggles of people around you. We're come from a very, very poor neighborhood, and just watching people struggle and watching how they cope, and listening to some of the old people and how they saw things and how they would cope with stuff. And basically Voice in My Head was born out of that, just listening to the cries of so many people, and that's where the song came from.
Oh gosh, a new day begins.
you're feeling down and out. New problems ahead, don't know yet what they're about. You wish you could die, so the madness could be gone. It's nonsense to hide or run, something says keep pressing on. A voice in my head, it talks to me. A voice in my head, it talks to me. Out with the problems, it tells me the road is long. It tells me we must be strong. Roll with the pain and strife. Today is the start of the rest of your life. Sing it. A voice in my head, keep talking to me. A voice in my head, it talks to me. Out with me problems.
It's an honor to be among some of these legends. I call them living legends of Calypso. It's an honor to be not just mentioned among them as a participant, but as a winner. I don't think I could rub shoulders with a good set of them, period.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
1996.
Yeah.
When you sang Issues of the Day and Give It to Me.
Issues of the Day. Issues of the Day was a song. There was a lot of talk on radio and all around the country. People speaking about national heroes. People trying to work out who is deserving of being a national hero in Barbados, and who should be getting the day. And of course, at that time, we already had an Arabar Day. We had already established an Arabar Day, and I said to myself that, you know, why is all this discussion? We have already established that Arabar is a national hero and a father of independence.
Big discussion about national heroes on the radio station, on the calling shows. A day for Barrow sparking big debate. Is he a true hero? The question of late, my opinion. Shouldn't get a day. Shouldn't be given that treatment out here. Cause whosoever responsible for the linen up at the hospital, oh, them ain't get a day. Brand new elevator up there, and it outside lifting the grass I hear. Oh, them ain't get a day. The man who brought in the container, a condition units and enough liquor, oh, he ain't get a day. I wonder how much money they stole, that people up there still on payroll. Oh, them ain't get a day. People from the town and the country planning to stop a big hotel, and it cost this country 3.3 million. Well.
The song "Give It to Me," simply about promises. You know, promises made by politicians. You know, you promise to give me this, you promise to, you know, you promise me this, you promise me that. Give it to me. You promise me, you know.
Jump in the ling, RBB come rescue, RBB come rescue. Like you can see what all the others doing, RBB come with something that show to keep us busy. Jumping, that's all that we do. Waving, that's all that we do. Jamming. The others make me stroke back, the others make me wind back. What about you? You have to come with something for the young people. You promise me what? Give me what? You promise me what? Give me what? Job number one, RPB, job number one. You promise me what? Give me what?
Master did that. They had this shipwrighter agreement. And when I heard about it, I said, wow, shipwrighter agreement. I wonder what it entails. And then the media started bringing about this and that, protection for the Caribbean and this and that. I said, they're going to allow non-Caribbean military people to come here to patrol these waters? Nah.
They sailed the Mayflower to the sacred Indian plain. There's some 86 nations, these old thieves really went insane. Move all them European cities to the people's country as they please. Kill out all the Indian buffalo. We're spreading disease, disaster and war. But tell them no more, no more. It is time to settle the score. The sun have the night on the run. Massa they done.
1998 for me is a kind of a marker year, a flag. In my mind, it's a flag up for that year. I remember performing at the semifinals, which would have been at the East Coast at that time. And when my name was called as being a finalist, people were saying that they don't think that I should have made it into the finals. And for me, it was fuel for my fire. And I said to myself, you know, this is the year when I really must turn this whole thing around. And I sang the same two songs that I was doing, that I actually did at the semifinals, and won. And I think the margin was over 40 points then. And for me, that was special, being able to turn around the negatives in the positives. Material was a song dealing with the fact that people were saying that Calypsonians didn't have material, they were not singing the issues.
Trouble, sometimes we just get in trouble when we sing certain material. Ruffle, when some get their feathers ruffled, they like to sue Calypsonians for libel. So we must tread carefully, check our Calypsos thoroughly, make sure that our songs don't offend anybody. Sexual abuse, serious matter, but can a lady rape a fella? That one I give in to Night Stalker. Violence and drugs have reached a height, school children losing their fight. That one for young blood or maybe kids' sight. And Bajans are too busy in people's business, they're nosy. That one I have to keep for Gypsy. And Bajans say how it is sad, Billy's choice in New York bad. That one I give it to Mad.
Swindle, Calendar, Brady, or even Hamil Ashley. Them is politicians. Politicians. Politicians making marks for that we.
Mr. Barrow, the party got me confused. Since you say goodbye, I won't tell no lie. Tears like rain water fill up the eye. The DLP is no longer flying high. Sandy take over, no sir, not Richie. Won his first election so easily. We thought he was the right man to run the country. Then suddenly, without warning, the whole damn crew start quarreling with one another and break up the whole party.
A new king is crowned in 2001, Adrian Clark. This melody and Judgment.
Judgment was actually penned firstly by Leslie Patterson. How that came about, I came fourth in 2000 to Gabby, John King, and the likes, and Leslie wasn't too keen on me coming that low. He figured I should have been better, and by the following month, he gave me a call and said, Adrian, I have a song for you. It was on CD, him singing it. I listened to it. I said, yeah, I like it. Put it down until practically in the following year. Then we had charts done for it. I still wasn't too sure about singing it because it was something with a difference, something that I never really tried, something that I liked but never really tried as far as we call the old-time form of calypso. And I rehearsed it once with the tent, And then I dropped it, sang something else. And then the something else I sang didn't work out. And I remember police officer Bess, Sergeant Bess, asked me why don't try the old time Calypso song. And the thing about it is that I managed then to get a proper rehearsal during a song check a night before the 10th, sang it, and the reaction was, wow. I said, okay, let me add some more, make some changes and add some more verses and stuff, and it worked out. Took me straight to the title in 2001, so that's how that year went.
In authentic Calypso, they used to repeat the first line, why did you know? That in authentic Calypso, they used to repeat the first line, why now you know? Well, in that case then, brother man, for years we have another kind of competition. Explain to me how can we won in the Juni song? We a kind so wrong, singing a ring bang. And them kind so judges, please don't blame them for me. It is not their fault that they cannot judge properly. Kaisonians spend thousands on presentation, only get 5 points and they lose the ground. We putting on a show for Minister McGuffey. So who the hell does be judging we?
Well, I wrote this melody after having a conversation with John King. Remember, I went over to the Plantation restaurant and I said, John, I had this melody in my head for the longest while. This was like February 2001. So I sang the melody to John, and he said, why don't you go and write a soca love song? He said, that's sort of barren sort of vibe that has. So I said, okay, I'll try it. I went home, started to write, just didn't feel good. It just didn't feel right when it was penning. And I remember I had to go into the city the following day, and I was passing the bus terminal, Fairchild Street bus terminal. I heard this guy saying, young people killing soca, they're killing the soca by all this hand and killing soca. He said, there's an idea. So I decided now to write this song about soca being, as a person, dying, and what we as a people can do to rescue soca. So that's really the idea came about.
Last night as I lay sleeping, I had a dream and I woke up crying, cause it frightened me. I dreamt soca was dying. Vital signs needed stabilizing. Lord, how could this be? Her BPM was 150. She needed transfusions of melody. There were hardly donuts in sight. Would she make it through the night? Her pulse was not of a consistent beat, and her heart was getting weak. Must do something and do it quick before to the grave beyond she claimed. So that's why I'll be singing this melody. I'll give to she, powerful and strong, to help soca push on. Oh, Sam, I've been warning you time and time again. Oh, Sam, I've been telling you, want to inflict pain. Oh, Sam, I've been warning you, be careful what you do. Oh, Sam, I've been telling you, I really thought you knew. Terror, terror, the world has changed forever. Terror, terror, world peace may be never. Terror, terror, when will this madness be over? Terror, terror, you have to look to the Father. How come you have no hair? People, they're asking me, confronting me everywhere I go throughout the country. It could be hereditary. That's neither here nor there. Since it's not clear to everybody, I have to explain my problems right here. Out here, so hear what I tell you. Elastic and fire, but going higher. Here, out here. Music.
Kid Sight was the first performer to win the competition in 3 consecutive years, 2004, 2005, and 2006.
And I don't know what to do, for I want to sing for you, but when I check Mac and plastic mics standing up, looking so cool, I tell myself I can't be so bold. I'm singing something I told. When I see how the Navy admiral. Just like a criminal, I had to sing my own song. Take down Nelson.
They too have become
2007, Red Plastic Bag was crowned with Pigeons Can't See and Look Me Here.
political ties, and you never know exactly where its loyalty lies. They just can't see conflict of interest is happening. Those who are playing are the same ones who are proving. And some are using the public funds to score runs for the elections out in the field of the Kensington environs.
I'm a Bajan. The lyrics were primarily by David Weatherhead. At first, I must admit, I really wasn't into the song. I really wasn't into it. I said, I'm a Bajan. Of course I'm a Bajan. Come on, what else? But I checked the lyrics and I was like, this song, as good as it is, it's going to go over a lot of people's heads.
My parents came from Africa, mere cargo and slave ships. They were forced into hard labor and kept in line with whips. They fought against the oppressors, suffered great indignity. But the legacy they left me is that I was born here free. Born here free, cause I am a Bajan. It's in the color of my skin. I am a Bajan. No, not the boat that they came in. I am a Bajan.
The song Something's Happening, simple song, painting the picture of what our crop over, what our mass really is on the street. Musically and lyrically, it captured the imagination of the people.
Lying in the street, feeling the burning heat. Water in high demand, but people enjoying a steel band. Like stores and bumper sales, short fans showing details. Oh, what a spectacle, looking so wonderful. Red flags in a frenzy, an ocean of color I see. Oi, 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 something's happening, and it's so exciting. People just having fun, one big celebration, must be a really grand occasion. Oi, 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 something's happening.
This was the scene at the Kensington Oval on the night of July 30th, 2010.
2010 Banks Line Piggy Crop Calypso King winning the Ford Focus along with $10,500 and totaling 441.5 points. Hailing from the big show, Gabby.
Well, in the old time days, the calypso was sung in a minor with a Latin phrase that emanated from Venezuela. I come here tonight to render this sweet melody. All you gotta do is sing along. I come here tonight to render this sweet minor key. All you gotta do is sing this song.
I thought that we put in enough work to win this competition, and that we had two unique songs. We were not dealing with local politics and things like that. We were not bashing anybody, any Calypsonian or any other artist. We came up here to lift the Calypso standard and equality. Thanks to Jehovah, I'm here.
Ashe, big up your calypso. Everywhere you go, let the people know you come from the land of rhythm and tempo. Big up your calypso. Everywhere you go, let the people know you come from the land of rhythm and tempo. Sing a bang, si bang, si bang, si bang, si bang, si the long, bong, bong, bilong, bong. Congratulations.